Took a split with Saturday's complimentary plays, cashing in with UT Arlington. And yes, guys, their nickname, the Mavericks. And who did they beat? Appalachian State. Their nicknames, the Mountaineers. And damn it, I should have bet UT Arlington instead of Oregon yesterday. Love UT Arlington. Now on a 15-2 straight-up run. Lost with North Carolina, but still a great run here over the past 15 months with the complimentary plays. And I have two more in college hoops coming your way in just a moment. FYI, I told you earlier this week my wife was on a little gambling vacation. And I did project, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday's video report, that she would probably lose every single day. And guys, I didn't have to be a psychic. I didn't even have to be a handicapper. I just know my wife. And she lost every single day. Right now, as I do this video report at 2:45 Eastern Time in the morning, she is flying back home. I'm going to be glad to see her. She called me earlier today. She was depressed. She was dejected because she got beaten up. I mean, she's a video poker addict. Video poker and slot machine addict. Listen, I don't understand how anybody can possibly play video poker and slot machines like my wife, my mother, my sister, I think my whole family. I don't understand how anybody can sit at one of those damn machines more than like 5 minutes. It's just beyond comprehension how anybody can do that. I just don't get it. Put the money in. You don't even put the money in. I mean, you put your money in, you put $10 in, and all you do is you hit the button, hit the button, hit the button. I just, please, Chinese water torture, waterboard me, do anything. It's torturous just watching people sit at those damn machines. But she can do it for like 14 hours a day. I mean, it's amazing. She can do it, and she'll be doing it like at 4 or 5 in the morning. It just blows my mind. Anyway, she says to me today before as she's packing up at the hotel, she calls me and she says, I now know how you feel when you gave up gambling all those years ago. It's like, oh, really? So, quick little story to put some perspective on it. So, back in the late 80s, baseball has always been the best sport to bet as far as I'm concerned. It's the easiest sport to make money. It's always been my best sport. This one particular season, it was like 1989, something like that, I think it was. I had won the first 6 weeks, and I had built up a huge bankroll the first 6 weeks of the season. And I'm only betting $25, $50 a game because, guys, I'm only making like back then $20,000 a year or something, okay? And I was betting, a friend and I that I was working, a fellow writer and I, we were going in and betting games together. We were handicapping all the games together. And since we were so involved in sports, this was like giving the kids the keys to the toy store, okay? This was better than having chocolate at the candy store every single day. So after 6 weeks of winning, and after I had really done the bulk of the baseball picks, I mean, this was really my strength. He comes up with this brilliant idea, and he says, why don't we do this thing called the double up theory? That's what he called it, the double up theory. He says, let's take 6 teams, he says, and what are the chances that these teams will go on extended losing streaks over the course of the week? He says, if they lose, we'll just double up. And sooner or later, he says, we'll cash out on the winning teams, and we'll end up with, taking the money, and we'll double it over the course of the week. 5 of those 6 teams went on losing streaks of 5 games or more that week. By Saturday afternoon, my 6-week bankroll was blown. I had to stop. He continued till Sunday. Monday, I was at the bank getting a cash advance on the Visa card for $1,800 for me, $1,800 for him, because I had to go meet the bookie on Tuesday at a McDonald's in Roxborough, Pennsylvania. Okay, that's where I used to meet this guy, John. He used to buy me lunch. Yeah, here's $3,600. Get me a Big Mac. John was a great guy. It probably didn't pay him. He'd break everybody's legs, Nice guy, though. Friendly guy. Used to give me Phillies tickets, too. Great guy. When you're making $20,000, you lose $1,800 in a week. You can do the math. It was pretty substantial. I had to take a break. I had to quit gambling. So that's what my wife was talking about. But in reality, I told her, I said, but what we do this for is we do it for the thrill. We do it for the excitement. And you know that as well as I do. Listen, we all live for the monstrous winning streaks. Look at Chris Jordan. He lost a game yesterday. How much money has he made you since Thanksgiving? Brad Wilton and Trace Adams are both in slumps right now over the pay. Well, Trace Adams won a big double wager play yesterday on Houston over Temple. But, Trace Adams and Brad Wilton have the past 4 or 5 weeks been great? No. But look at the profit they accumulated over the previous, well, for Brad Wilton, it was like a 12-month period. For Trace Adams, it was like a 14-month period. Look at the extended run they had in all sports combined. Those type of runs are what we live for. But in reality, what do we really do this for? We do it for the day-to-day thrill, the excitement, because we're action junkies. And truth be told again, aren't we all like little hamsters on the spinning wheel? We just want to be in the game. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some. At the end of the season, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, we want to win more than we lose. We don't want to be flattened for 7 straight days like my wife was. I understand where she's coming from. I understand when I lost a ton of money, $1,800 in 7 days. I understand. I've been there. But ultimately, we just want the action. And listen, it's all entertainment. As I told her on the phone today, listen, you went, you had a good time, you lost money. It was all entertainment. No different than, listen, you want to go to an NFL game on a Sunday, you want to go with a couple of your friends, you're going to foot the bill. What are those tickets going to cost you? You're going to get into a stadium and get good seats for under $100 a ticket? No, you're not. Then you're going to pay parking, what, $25, $35, $40 at some stadiums? Yeah. And then those little 12-ounce cups of flat beer that you're going to spill half of them out trying to get across those row of cramped seats with 7 people in your aisle that should be at the Jenny Craig convention instead of a football game. Yeah, you're going to slosh half that beer on their laps. Then you're going to eat that god-awful food. What are you going to blow on food and drinks? $70 each without even thinking about it. So when all is said and done, you're going to sit there, maybe in the cold, freezing your ass off, maybe in the rain, whatever, maybe watching a miserable game that you wish you could leave in the third quarter, but because you just spent $200-$300, you're not about to leave. You're going to get your money's worth. Or you could have sat at home and just bet that money on the game, right? And had a 50-50 chance of perhaps doubling your money. But you go because it's entertainment. No different than taking that girl out that you've been waiting, right? You're going to go out for drinks. You're going to go out for dinner. You're going to go maybe dancing. You're going to go out maybe to the movies, go to whatever. Then you're going to drink some more and God knows what else. You know you're going to blow $150 at least, right? It's all about entertainment. And it's all because we want the thrill, we want the excitement, we want the action. And that's why we do this thing that we love so much called gambling, because we are all action junkies. So as I told my wife today, listen, you lost 7 straight days. Ain't the first time. Now, that was probably the wrong thing to say. I will grant you that. Saying that, not the thing that she wanted to hear right then. But since she doesn't watch these video reports, I will tell you it's the truth. It ain't the first time. And, of course, it won't be the last. Now, I was smart enough not to say that part. But it's entertainment, and that's ultimately the bottom line. Let's get to your complimentary plays today. The first one I think is a real fascinating game. Michigan State, and I think a must-win situation today at home against Michigan. And listen, both of these teams really in a must-win situation. Selection Sunday, guys, it's not that far away. It really is not. You're talking about 6 weeks away, and, neither one of these teams, maybe Michigan State has a little better pedigree in terms of the wins on their schedule, but because of the way they've been slumping, it doesn't really look that good. 9 losses already for Tom Izzo's team. Michigan really hasn't done anything in terms of knocking off anybody big. But the thing I find interesting about Michigan State is when Miles Bridges, who is their outstanding freshman, a guy who was going to be a top 10 draft pick if he comes out, when he was sidelined, when he was hurt late in the Duke game, late November, and he missed 7 straight games, in that stretch, Michigan State won 6 out of 7 because they found other options. They moved the ball. They had team chemistry. They had supplemental scoring. They really played well. He comes back on a reserve basis. They win their first game. Then they go to the Plester in Philadelphia. They get upset, hammered actually by Penn State. And they have really struggled since. And I think it was really telling what happened in Tuesday's game at home against Purdue. They lost 84-73, even though Bridges had a career-high 33 points in that game. But there was not one other Spartan that scored in double figures. What happened? to that chemistry? What happened to the ball movement? What happened to everybody pitching in when Bridges was out? It's almost like they forgot how to play now that their big guy is back in the lineup. That's not how they're going to win. Now, there were other factors that influenced that loss in Purdue. Because really, Michigan State played well from the field. They shot 52%. Purdue's a big physical team, and they own the boards 36-23. But overall, the Spartans have lost 3 in a row in 4 of their last 5. Michigan comes in here with some confidence. They just hammered Indiana, beat the Hoosiers by 30 points at home. They average 75 points. They give up just 65.6 points a game on the season. But, you knew there had to be a but. Here's the thing. Michigan is 0-5 on the road this year in true road games. 0-3 on the conference road. 0-5 on the road this year. And in those 5 road losses, they are giving up 78.4 points a game. That's a hell of a differential. I think it's a must-win game, and I'm willing to go with Michigan State in this one, especially since the Spartans have won 5 of the last 7 at home in this series. So Michigan State's going to be the first play. Your next play, I'm going to go with Arizona State, looking to get back at 500 today, minus the 10.5 at home against Washington State. Listen, Washington State's coming off a 79-62 loss at Arizona on Thursday. They were out-rebounded by 12 in that contest. No surprise, they're the worst rebounding team in the Pac-12. They only get 32 rebounds a game. Well, when you can't rebound the ball, you are already killing yourself offensively because you're not going to get any cheap putbacks. You're not going to get many second chance points. They have lost 5 of their last 6 games. Now, that's not to say that Arizona State is a good rebounding team. They're middle of the road. But you got Arizona State averaging about 86 points a game in their last 5 games in Tempe. You got Arizona State coming off an 86-75 home win against Washington that just snapped a 4-game losing streak. And you're going, oh my God, okay. They just have only won 1 game in their last 5. Yeah, but that 4-game losing streak, they lost on the road at USC. They lost on the road at UCLA. They lost on the road at Arizona. They lost at home to Utah. You're talking about the upper echelon teams in the damn conference. It's not like they were losing to Washington State. Okay, they were losing to the powerhouses in the conferences, the teams that they should be losing to. This is a team that they can beat. Arizona State has covered 6 straight at home in the series. They have covered 5 of the last 6 meetings in this series, no matter the location. And again, you know, they win, they get back, and they even their record at 11-11 today. They went to the NIT last year. They have a great shot at getting about 17 wins again this season, 16-17, and that'll probably get them an NIT berth again this year. It's a rebuilding year. They are a team, they're going to shoot a lot of threes. They play an up-tempo game. They don't play a lot of defense, but Washington State's going to give up a lot of points, and I think that's a good place to take Arizona State today. So Arizona State is going to be your other complimentary play to go along with Michigan State, and that'll do it for today's video report. I wish you well, guys. Talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.